and then you look back at the situation and you learn from it, you grow from it, and you move on. Hello, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Samuel Bell Podcast, episode number 3. Today, I'm going to shake things up a little bit and talk about something that I read this morning, actually. Typically in the morning, I like to, set aside a few minutes, an hour or so, and just read either self-help book, self-development book, finance, but most importantly, the Bible. And for me, I'm a Christian, so a lot of my principles come from the Bible, obviously. And so that being said, I was reading Proverbs 20, where Solomon is talking about basically digging your well before you're thirsty. Now, or I guess not digging your well before you're thirsty. And so I really wanted to dive into that because I think that's a problem that is a lot more rampant than people actually think. I think if people slow down and realized where their life was going, that they would take a second and go, oh crap, let me prepare for that part. Yeah, we've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. Everyone's been there. Heck, even Solomon himself has been here, and he was the wisest person to ever live. So this is a common thing. And to be exact, Solomon said, the lazy man will not plow because of winter. He will beg during harvest time and have nothing. So when I read that, I'm just like, yep, that sounds like a few situations where I've definitely been in, where I don't know, this can be in anything. This doesn't have to necessarily be just financially. This can be in a relationship if you're like ignoring red flags, or if you're just like not setting yourself up to be in a relationship and then the opportunity comes and you completely miss it because you're not the person that you should have been at that time, if that makes sense. But although it can actually still be very financially based. So a lot of times it kind of goes into situations where you didn't save money and you lost your job, or you didn't buy the dip. So then when the stock rises, you made no money from it because you bought it the wrong time or you tried to sell it the wrong time, whatever. This applies in so many different situations. And I really just want to kind of chat with you guys about just being prepared, and not only being prepared when you know something's happening or about to happen, but being prepared, period. Just be prepared all the time. Like, obviously we knew that the recession was going to happen, right? So we kind of had preparation to be like, okay, well, let me start saving cash. Let me start this business. Let me start thinking about money differently, because you knew the recession was coming. But what if you don't know the recession is coming, right? Are you preparing for life even when you can't see the tsunami coming in? And I think when you get to that point in life, I think that's when things get a lot of fun. I mean, not just financially, but in your relationship, right? Like, are you learning about your wife every single day? Are you learning about how to raise your kids? Are you learning about your business every single day, so that way when things do go south, because they will go south, do you understand what to do in those moments? Or are you waiting for the moment to get here and then you're drowning and you're like, help me, I need help? Like, you don't have to drown, you don't have to go through that part. You can just learn to swim. You can even be a lifeguard. Like, that's what's crazy, is that a lot of people think that it's sink or swim, when in reality it's just like, always be prepared. For me, I played sports growing up. I played basketball. I also did music. And these are two things that if you don't do them all the time, you easily fall back into not being good. Like, no matter who you are, basketball is no respecter of persons, right? So like, if Stephen Curry, I use Stephen Curry a lot in my podcast, but if Stephen Curry stopped playing basketball for a year, right? He just didn't touch basketball. He stopped shooting every day. He stopped doing things. I'm not saying that he'd be a terrible shooter after a year, but he wouldn't be Stephen Curry after a year. Like, it's impossible, because it's all based on muscle memory. It's all based on repetition. It's based on you doing this every single day and practicing. So that way when the game does get here, you're prepared for it. Life's the same way. Take every single day and practice. So that way when life does get hard, you're prepared for it. Because if you don't, you fall back into your natural tendencies, which for some, you were raised perfect and you know what, your natural tendency is awesome and you're great and but whatever. But for most of us, for the normal people in the world, our natural tendencies suck a lot of times. Like, we have to learn how to be better. We have to learn how to get past some of these obstacles that we have in our lives. For me, a lot of my natural tendencies tend to be selfish based, I get very like me focused, where I'm just like, okay, what do I want to happen today? That's what's gonna happen today. Which it can be a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it can be good things a lot of times, like filming this podcast or having this YouTube channel or being in like doing business and stuff like that. It can work in different areas, but I also have 5 kids. I also have a wife. It's really hard to be me focused when I have a family that I should be focusing on first, if that makes sense. But if I never slow down to go, hey, you should probably work on that part. Eventually what happens is that your kids stop liking you, your wife stops liking you, everything goes out the drain, your family's walking out of the door, and at that point it's too late. It's too late to try and fix everything, because the lazy man will not plow during winter. He will beg during harvest. That right there is huge. Guys, I challenge you, take some time tonight, today, while you're reading or listening to this, and just go, man, where in my life can I just sit down and prepare on a daily basis so that I'm ready for the obstacle when it comes? Because guys, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get in a fight with your wife, your husband, your kids, you're gonna lose your job, you're gonna start a business and it's gonna fail, you're gonna start a YouTube channel, no one's gonna watch your videos. Like, where are you preparing? And when you fail at these different things, are you learning from it? Because failure is not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna have these moments where you are the person that's begging during harvest time, but are you fixing things so that next harvest time you're not begging people? I believe that this is where like I said before, I believe this is where true growth lies. It lies in the areas where you fail miserably and then you look back at the situation and you learn from it, you grow from it, and you move on. So yeah, that about wraps up today's episode, guys. It's gonna be a short one. I figured this was gonna be a short one today because this kind of came at the last moment this morning at 7 a.m. I'm sitting there reading and I felt like I just needed to talk about this one specific topic. Maybe I'll just do 2 podcasts this week for you guys. That way I can make it for the time. But that's been kind of on my heart today. So with that being said, guys, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, hit that notification bell, that way you guys are notified every single time I release a video like this or a podcast episode. And again, thank you for staying tuned, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.